I'm going to be teaching y'all how to write some edgy poetry within about like 5-6 minutes. Now listen, I used to be guilty of writing edgy poetry like a year or two back, but I have outgrown that phase, so now I can officially mock it. And let's see, one of my favorite quotation marks edgy poet is Rupi Kaur. And she literally defines what I consider modern poetry. So you see, listen, enjambment is a thing. Enjambment is when you purposely create line breaks between lines in order to create a flow or a rhythm to your writing. But when Rupi Kaur does it, I feel like she just does it to make her stuff look like poetry. Like if she did not put line breaks, this would be a plain sentence. It is a blessing to be the color of earth. Period. Do you know how often flowers confuse me for home? Like, oh my god, it just pisses me off. And also, you see this, there's no capitalization, no punctuation. This is the trademark of edgy poetry. It looks like a Tumblr shit post. That's all it is. This shit. Oh god, I'm being so mean. But yeah, I used to write stuff like this too. I feel really embarrassed now. But now that I've gotten into more like fixed verse and more deep poetry, I've realized that this is just everything I was doing wrong. Now, I love the topics Rupi Kaur chooses. She does stuff based on like fertility and femininity and feminism, and basically deconstructing like basically everything that's wrong with society today. But you know, I feel like it would have been more effective if everything she did wasn't so trite and so overdone. I swear to God, you go on Tumblr, you search up poetry, this is the kind of stuff you'll find. And I don't think any poet who's genuinely serious about their job would want to be defined as a Tumblr poet. So anyways, that's enough of this rant. I'm sorry if I offended any Rupi Kaur fans, but honestly, this is the freedom of speech, so whatever. Back to my point, I'm going to be teaching y'all how to write some edgy poetry, and so I've opened up a Google Docs right here. Now there are some general guidelines you're going to have to use. First of all edgy poetry is written in free verse. If you use rhythm or rhyme, it's not considered edgy because apparently with edgy poetry you're not thinking about verse, you're just wanting to get your emotions out. Second thing, most topics for edgy poems are very overdone topics that you'll see everywhere, literally. So some of these include depression, heartbreak, breakups, you know, that one shy girl who's actually really depressed on the inside, everything basically that everybody has already heard of millions and millions of times already. Another rule is there's going to be no capitalization, no punctuation, just like Rupi Kaur. And I know actually Rupi did it, writes her poetry like that because it's in her native language, which is Punjabi. They don't use capitalization and stuff. But I don't really care, okay? This still applies to most edgy poetry. So, yeah, none of that stuff. And then you're gonna want to use like really grim sounding words just for the sake of it, not because it actually contains any meaning relevant to your poem or that enhances the meaning. It's just you want to make your poem sound depressing. Okay? So let's get started. Your first line has to be pretty powerful. Also, oh, another thing that's important, always use Times New Roman. That's it, okay? Nothing else. Anyways, let's start off something that sounds really gross. Okay. This is a personal favorite. My heart weeps with abandon. That's a good first line because it introduces what you're talking about. You know, your heart weeping. By the way, this poem is going to be about depression, just so you guys know. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, my heart weeps with abandon. That's a perfect first line for introducing your topic. And it also sounds very generic and cliche. Now your second line, has got to go off of that. And make sure all of these stanzas, they're not actual, like, you're basically pretending like your stanzas are sentences that are expanded with line breaks, because that's, just go off of rupi kaur, that's basically it. My heart weeps with abandon because you broke me, and I am a million shattered fragments on the marble. There you go, guys. That's your first stanza. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you all. Just use, it's really easy. It doesn't even take that much effort. Just try to write something that sounds, edgy. Okay, now your second stanza is going to relate to the first stanza. It's going to reference it, but it's not going to directly state it. And you just want to, with each stanza following the first stanza, you're just going to build off of the previous. Okay, so my heart, let's do, I yelled out your name on that damned December night. My soul withered, aching. Oopsies, I used punctuation, guys. Don't do that. Aching for mercy. But you, remember, we're talking about depression, so use some stupid metaphors. But you seduced me. I was a snake charmed by the seductress's song, embracing me with your arms, your cold, dead arms. You see this, you guys? I'm using good imagery. Cold, dead, charmed, embrace, mercy. All of these words, they generate a mood for the poem. A mood is the overall feeling the reader gets from this. And you also want to have a very, you want to convey your tone through all this vocab, So that's our third stanza. And then, how am I? Now you're gonna want to expand on like that depression. When you're depressed, you feel like you can't heal. You just, oh god, it's such a sad state of mind. How am I supposed to heal with you constantly consuming my battered mind? I am nothing to you, but you are my greatest foe. Okay, guys, we're almost done with this. Okay, let's just do one more stanza. The last stanza should always relate to the first stanza, because generally in poetry, it's nice to feel like there's like something wrapping it all up. And I like to do couplets for my last stanzas usually, because I just feel like it's short and to the point. So so our first one said, my heart weeps with abandon. Now let's do something more angry, reflecting the writer's emotion. My soul now harps in damnation, begging for a taste of that sweet honey. What? I didn't even do a couplet. That's okay, guys. That is called redemption. Don't worry if the words you use don't make sense, you guys, because honestly, nobody even gives a crap. If you post something like this on Tumblr, nobody actually studies poetry or anything like that, because they just like pretty words on a page. So it doesn't really matter. Just use whatever words you want. Now let's finish. I will cry for 1,000 years, but still, that will never be enough. Okay guys, we just wrote our edgy poem. Congratulations, I'm so proud of you all. Make sure you follow the rules. No capitalization, no punctuation. Choose a freaking trite topic like depression. Use really grim sounding words, or just use sad a lot. Tears is a really good one. Wilting roses is another good one. Reference things that are very, very popular to be referenced in depressive cultures. And yeah, there you guys have it. Oh wait, let's go back and revise our poem now. I forgot to mention that. So you're always going to want to go back over your poem and substitute some plainer words for some more descriptive words. So let's see. Here we have my battered mind. Let's change this to skull, because that's pretty goth. Let's see. But you are my greatest foe. Let's change this to adversary. Okay. Begging for a taste. Is there any better words than taste? No, I think that one's fine. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good edgy poem. Now, your final task. Oopsies, what did I just do? Okay, your final task is to copy, and now you're gonna want to go to tumblr.com and come on, load. Meanwhile, I'm gonna check my Snapchat. JK, I don't even have any new messages. Okay, now what you're gonna want to do is simply click this, click text, and paste your poem. Now we're gonna want to format it correctly. Let's reference the original document. Okay, on the marble. Da 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 da. Your cold dead arms. There we go, guys. Now, give it a good old title. The title is always very important in poetry, you guys. I'm not even kidding. Make sure the title really ties in with the whole poem. So I'm gonna give this one the title. God, I've always had trouble picking titles. Begging for mercy. You see? Mercy right here. Right here, and it ties into the whole depression thing. You want mercy from depression, right? Let's post it on this Haunt Angel. Okay. Now give it a bunch of good old tags so it gets recognition. Poetry on Tumblr. Writing. Writers. Writers on Tumblr. Poets. Did I spell that wrong? Ugh, I hate myself. Writers on Tumblr. Poets on Tumblr. Edgy. Dark. Goth. I love my life. Poetry. Oh, I already tagged that. Emo poetry. Emo. 4chan. Reddit. Tumblr. Edgy. Why do I keep tagging things I already tagged? I think that's good enough, you guys. So, I'll update in the description how many notes this gets by the end of this week. So, yeah, congratulations, you now know how to write edgy poetry. I'm so proud of you. I hope you guys will follow my tips and become just as successful as I am. So yes, goodbye my fellow people. I hope you enjoyed this very informative video.